Two women from tiny Caribbean islands built empires worth over $1.5 billion combined in the world still does not talk about them enough. Hit subscribe right now because number 1 on this list will make your jaw drop completely. At number 5, and this woman deserves so much more recognition than she receives. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce from Jamaica. Born in 1986 in the Waterhouse community of Kingston, Jamaica. Waterhouse is one of the toughest and most challenging communities in all of Jamaica. Resources are limited. Opportunities are rare. Life is genuinely difficult for most people who grow up there. But Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce grew up in Waterhouse and decided that her circumstances were not going to define her destination. She became a sprinter. She trained with a dedication and a ferocity that her coaches said they had never seen before in any athlete. And the results were historic. In 2008 at the Beijing Olympics, she became the first Caribbean woman to win the Olympic 100 meters gold medal. She was just 21 years old. The whole of Jamaica went absolutely crazy with pride. But she was not finished. She came back and won Olympic 100 meters gold again in 2012 in London. She is a 5-time World Championship 100 meters gold medalist. She ran 10.6 seconds at the age of 35 in 2022, making her one of the fastest women in history at that age. And through all of those extraordinary athletic achievements, she was quietly and carefully building financial security for herself and her family. Her partnership with Puma has been one of the longest and most valuable endorsement deals any Caribbean female athlete has ever signed. Her Digicel partnership across the Caribbean added significant regional income. Her appearance fees for races and events around the world contribute meaningfully. Her estimated net worth sits at approximately $10 million US. From the streets of Waterhouse, Kingston to $10 million, and a legacy as one of the greatest female athletes the world has ever seen. That is a Caribbean woman. Number 4 takes us from the track to the stage and introduces one of the most powerful voices in Caribbean music. Fay-Ann Lyons from Trinidad and Tobago. Born in 1982 in Trinidad. The daughter of soca legend Superblue. The wife of soca star Bunji Garlin. But do not let those connections fool you into thinking her success came from anyone other than herself. Fay-Ann Lyons became the first and only woman in history to win the International Soca Monarch title. She did not win it once. She won it multiple times. She dominated a competition that had always been controlled by men, and she did it with a voice and a performance power that left audiences completely stunned every single time she took the stage. Her road march titles, her multiple award wins, her touring income across the Caribbean and the Caribbean diaspora communities in USA, UK, and Canada have built her a very impressive financial position. Her estimated net worth sits at approximately $15 million US built through music, touring, brand deals, and the kind of generational Caribbean music royalties that keep earning long after the performances are finished. From Trinidad to $15 million as the undisputed queen of soca. That is what Caribbean women build. Number 3 is a woman whose story crosses multiple worlds and multiple industries in a way that very few people from anywhere on earth have managed to replicate. Hanna from Jamaica. Born in 1973 in Kingston, Jamaica. In 1993 she walked onto the Miss World stage representing Jamaica, and she did not just compete. She won. She became Miss World 1993. The crown was beautiful. The attention was enormous. The opportunities that followed were significant. But Hanna was never just a beauty queen. She was a businesswoman, a media personality, a politician, and a community builder all at the same time. After Miss World, she built a successful career in television and media in Jamaica, becoming one of the most recognizable faces on the island. She then moved into politics and was elected as a member of parliament in Jamaica, representing Southeast Street Anne. She served as Minister of Youth and Culture in the Jamaican government. She built business interests across multiple sectors. Her estimated net worth sits at approximately $20 million US built across beauty pageant fame, television, politics, business, and media over more than 3 decades of consistent public life. From Miss World 1993 to $20 million, and one of the most multidimensional careers any Caribbean woman has ever built. That is what happens when a Caribbean woman refuses to be defined by any single title or any single achievement. Now we are entering billionaire territory. And the next 2 names on this list are in a completely different financial universe from everyone else we have discussed so far. Number 2 is a woman from Trinidad and Tobago who grew up on that island, moved to New York as a child, and then went on to become one of the most commercially successful female musicians in the entire history of recorded music. Her name is Nicki Minaj. Born Onika Tanya Marriage on December 8, 1982 in St. James, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Her family moved to Queens, New York when she was a young child, but her Trinidad roots, her Caribbean identity, and her Caribbean fire are at the absolute core of everything she is and everything she has built. She became the first female solo artist in history to have 7 singles simultaneously on the Billboard Hot 100. She has sold over 100 million records worldwide. She has won multiple BET Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and has received multiple Grammy nominations across her career. But here is what most people do not fully understand about Nicki Minaj. The music is just the beginning of her financial story. Her MAC Cosmetics collaboration earned millions. Her Beats by Dre partnership added significant income. Her Pepsi deal was worth millions. Her Adidas collaboration, her Fenty collaboration, her multiple fashion partnerships across her career have added layer after layer of income on top of her music earnings. Her Pink Friday fragrance line generated over $70 million in sales. Her real estate investments, her business ventures, her touring income from sold-out stadium tours across multiple continents. When you sit down and add every single income stream together, her estimated net worth sits at approximately $150 million. $150 million. Built by a girl who grew up in St. James, Port of Spain, Trinidad, and then moved to Queens, New York with a dream that most people around her probably thought was too big. From Trinidad to $150 million. From Port of Spain to sold-out stadiums in every major city on earth. From a Caribbean island girl to one of the most commercially powerful women in the entire history of popular music. That is Nicki Minaj. That is what a Caribbean woman can build when the fire inside her is strong enough. And now, Number 1. The name that sits above every other name on this entire list. The woman whose net worth is so extraordinary that it almost does not feel real. The woman who did not just become the richest Caribbean female celebrity. She became the richest female musician in the entire history of the world. She is from a tiny island called Barbados. A beautiful island with just 280,000 people. An island so small you can drive around the entire thing in under an hour. And from that tiny island came a woman who built a personal fortune of approximately $1.4 billion. Her name is Rihanna. Born Robin Rihanna Fenty on February 20, 1988 in St. Michael, Barbados. She grew up in a modest home on the island. Her childhood was not always easy. Her parents faced personal struggles. Resources were not abundant. But there was a girl in that home in St. Michael, Barbados who had a voice that could stop rooms and a determination that could move mountains. A music producer heard her sing at the age of 15 and immediately understood that something extraordinary had walked into his studio. She signed with Def Jam Recordings at 16. She released Pon de Replay in 2005 and the world heard Barbados for the first time through her voice. What followed across the next 2 decades is one of the most remarkable career stories in the entire history of music and business combined. Umbrella, Diamonds, We Found Love, Stay, Work, 8 studio albums, over 250 million records sold worldwide, making her one of the best-selling music artists in the history of recorded sound. But here is the number that changes everything. Here is the secret behind the $1.4 billion fortune that most people still do not fully understand. The music made her famous. The business made her a billionaire. In 2017, she launched Fenty Beauty with LVMH, the French luxury goods conglomerate. She launched it with 40 shades of foundation that genuinely changed the beauty industry forever. Before Fenty Beauty, the beauty industry largely ignored darker skin tones. Rihanna changed that completely and permanently on day one. Within its first 40 days of sales, Fenty Beauty generated an estimated $100 million in revenue. It is now valued at approximately $2.8 billion, making Rihanna's stake worth over $1.4 billion from this business alone. Her Savage X Fenty lingerie brand, which she launched in 2018, is valued at over $1 billion. Her luxury fashion house Fenty with LVMH was a groundbreaking partnership that made her the first woman of color to lead a major luxury fashion house in history. Her real estate portfolio across Los Angeles, New York and internationally adds hundreds of millions more. Her partnership with A$AP Rocky, her child, her continued cultural impact all contribute to a public profile that keeps her brand value growing every single year. $1 billion for $100 million. From a small house in St. Michael, Barbados. From a 15-year-old girl singing in a studio. From a tiny island of 280,000 people sitting in the warm Caribbean Sea, to $1.4 billion and the title of the richest female musician the world has ever produced. Rihanna is not just the richest Caribbean woman, she is proof that the Caribbean spirit, when it is fully unleashed, is capable of literally anything. So there they are. The 5 most extraordinary Caribbean women, and the 5 most extraordinary fortunes ever built from those beautiful islands. From Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's $10 million built on the fastest legs any woman has ever used, to Lisa Hanna's $20 million built across beauty, media, and politics, to Fay-Ann Lyons' $15 million built through the most powerful voice in soca music, to Nicki Minaj $150 million built through music, fashion, and pure unstoppable ambition, to Rihanna's $1.4 billion built through a voice, a vision, and a business genius that the world is still trying to fully understand. 5 women, 5 islands, 5 stories that prove beyond any possible doubt that the Caribbean is not just beautiful. It is extraordinary. It is powerful. It is world-changing. And it is producing women who are living at a level that most of the world can only dream about. These 5 Caribbean women did not wait for the world to give them permission to be great. They came from small islands with big dreams, and they went out and built those dreams with their own hands, their own talent, and their own absolute refusal to accept any limit on what they deserved. From 10 million to 1.4 billion, from Waterhouse Kingston to the world stage, from St. James Trinidad to $150 million, from St. Michael, Barbados to the title of the richest female musician in the history of the world. The Caribbean is not just a place on a map, it is a state of mind. And that state of mind builds billionaires. Share this video with every Caribbean woman you know, because they deserve to see what their islands are capable of producing. And they deserve to know that their dreams are not too big. They are exactly the right size.